Molly, you've pulled items 1 through 3 and items 34 through 49. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak on those items, and then your 1 minute of general public comment. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I wanted to speak basically on 34 and 43, but on 34, I want to say to all you council people that we in the community, we voted you in. We want you to have your jobs and be our voice. I'm concerned that because of gentrification and the things that were brought up by the LA City Chambers, that black voices are going to be silenced. They're going to be silenced because when you bring in richer folks to move in all the houses, when you tear down buildings and put up more buildings for commercial use, when you make your land for stables for horses, then people won't be there. They will not vote. You guys need to be scared. You need to be afraid, very, very afraid, because there are people who are bringing in new people, and those new people are not going to vote for you guys. You're going to lose your jobs. So I wanted to just bring that up so that you can see what's going on. Gentrification is real. They brought up the best black districts, 9, 10, and 11, and we saw that they all had lots of problems. And they keep saying that the economy is great. I asked the LA Chamber, say that as you walk out the front door of City Hall over all the homeless people, how great it really is. They talk about how much the houses are worth and who they're putting in them. They're taking us out. We have a center in our community called the Afiba Center, and we need you on number 43 to use some of that money to improve it, build it up. We need a kitchen there. We need some land there. We need some better things there. So we're asking you on number 43, Current Price, I'm sorry he's not here. Current Price is the only one that's here. Herb West is not here. Marqueese Dawson, and that's those great district of ours. But I'm saying to all of you Latinos and Asians, when white folks, and I don't mean no disrespect, but you know who's going to live in those houses. When they come in, you're out. And if you're out, my voice is going to be choked, and you won't hear what I have to say. So be afraid. I'm afraid, but I know that God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So I'm asking you to consider and think about the things that you are doing, because it is not in our best interest, because you guys are going to be gone, and you did it yourself.
Thank you. Okay, you're given your 1 minute of general public comment.
My public comment is that I am here in support of the Afiba Center, one of the most important African-American firefighters building on this planet. And we have been given some eviction notice. Well, we're not clear what it is. And we're asking this city council and those who can help to do everything to keep the Afiba Center, which is African Firefighters in Benevolent Association. There's no place in Los Angeles where you see the word African and firefighters together. So keep that. Keep Brother Jabari in control, because this is what we need. I close by saying, all you prayer warriors out there, you know what you've got to do. You've got to keep fasting. You've got to keep praying, because the struggle continues. But always, to God be the glory. I'm Molly Bill, and I'm straight out of Compton, and I approve this message.
Thank you. All right, Wayne.
So I'll find them. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn Moses. Is there a Lynn Moses? Please come forward. Okay, you'll be given 3 minutes on all the items you pulled, and then 1 minute of general public comment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome.
Regarding comments regarding the Chamber of Commerce, some of their comments in item 35. we can solve some of these problems. I don't know what this guy is talking about as far as everything is so rosy. We have homeless people. We have half the homeless population here in Los Angeles. Who's responsible for that? The buck has to stop somewhere. Where does it start? It starts with you gentlemen, and you ladies, every one of you. You and the mayor, you are the stewards of the public's money. You are responsible. You are responsible, not Donald Trump. You all like to talk about Trump like a campaign slogan to bolster up how great you are and what we should be doing. You people, Krikorian, Lee, Martinez, Farrell, Price, Rodriguez, Rue, Bloomfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Harris, Dawson, Huizar, Koretz. You people are responsible. And the puppet master, the mayor. Why don't we tie your salaries, you give up your salaries unless the homeless problem is really solved, because you started it. You give up your salaries, I guarantee it will be solved. Will you do that? I don't think so. You have the Wesson, item number 40, the Cumulus Project. 0 affordable units on Wesson. These are things this guy approves. Dawson. No units are affordable when the median income is $20,000, $30,000 in that area, but you all put your name on these projects. You are responsible for the homeless outside this building. Every one of them. But you line your pockets with developer money, every one of you. You're responsible. No one else. How do you sleep at night? Put your salary up.
Thank you, sir. You got 1 minute. General public comment.
We have a representative form of government. The problem in my community, the black community, is we have no representation. That's our #1 problem. Mark Ridley Thomas, Herb Wesson, and this guy, empty seat. He's an empty seat, Marqueese Dawson, when he's sitting in it. He does not represent us. These people don't represent us. Mr. Price, you're found on the internet cheesing over at the new development at Honda. There's 1 black employee in there out of about 60. We're going to be on you to fix that. The Afiba Center will not go down. We will be burned out of there before we leave. Tell Dawson that, to stop attacking our community.
Okay,
and
Ms.
the hell with the
your time's up. Your time's up. Thank you, sir. Is there a Maria Luna here? Maria Luna? How about Red Chief? Is there a Dr. Mello Desri? Good morning, or what is it? Good afternoon. So, ma'am, you have 3 minutes on all the cards that you pulled, and then 1 minute of general public comment.
Not good for the kids. Good morning. So, we have a homeless crisis. You have a multi-million-dollar film crew for Pennywise and Showtime right outside the doors. The funny thing is, there's a homeless encampment right in front of the scenery. Are they going to cut that out? The Chamber of Commerce was a joke. I couldn't even get the booklet. They told me I have to pay $25 for that little catalog. of what the Chamber of Commerce does. So if you guys are going to gouge out those who are a certain tax bracket, and we're watching developer after developer who don't look like us coming into our neighborhoods, let me tell you something about CD8. CD8, you have Manchester and Vermont that Mark Ridley Thomas and Marqueese Dawson took from Eli Sassoon 2 years ago, and it's still empty. Dirt everywhere. You got clothes hanging everywhere looking like a Mexican market. That's Manchester, Vermont. But instead of fixing Manchester, Vermont, you want to go to Crenshaw and Slauson, you want to gentrify other areas, you want to push people out, and you're biting too much you can't chew. You're biting off too much you can't chew. Right now, LASA, you have money for rapid rehousing. I believe that's agenda number 15. Rapid rehousing. The only rapid rehousing you have is HOPIX. HOPIX spends 90% of the money in staffing. The Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority hired 20 new people, and you got a homeless crisis. So they're making 6 figures, and Peter Lynn is looking like a surfboard coming off the beach. You got people from the valley that are caseworkers. This is horrible. And you're putting all this money into LASA, who failed in engagement. They failed 6%. They're supposed to make 25%. That means they're not out there even talking to the homeless to house them. But you want to keep funneling this joint authority with city, state, and federal funding to do nothing? Can we stop blowing smoke up our asses right now? We are tired of hearing immigrant power, empowerment, hate crime, and you're leaving the blacks left to die. The Afiba Center has been there for the community, and we would like for you to respect that. Not all black people are dumb.
Okay, hold your time, please. Would you like to go into general public comment next? Okay, otherwise, you have to stay to the items, ma'am. Okay, stick to the items that you pulled.
3 seconds? Okay.
Go ahead, and then you'll be given, you have another minute.
Yeah, let me finish talking about the
Go ahead,
incompetence
continue.
of LASA. So you have a LASA commission board on Friday that did nothing. These people are not paid. They don't even care. They're volunteers. So any issues that LASA don't do, the commission sits there and be like, I hear you, and does nothing. So as we mentioned before, give up your paychecks so you can fix the homeless crisis, because it's not working right now.
Thank you. Let's get our 1 minute general public comment.
The African firefighters in benevolence. Benevolence means to give good. Good, meaning doing good. I can't remember for the last 30 years in South LA what good looked like, from LAPD to sheriffs to our city politicians who have more money to buy packs of cigarettes than fix a goddamn homeless crisis. You got empty lots all up and down Normandy, Vermont, and Western, sitting there for Pakistani, Indian 7-Elevens that are going to be there 2-3 years. We're going to snatch some properties. We're just letting you know, we're not waiting for you to make a decision while you're figuring out this bogus impeachment. We are actually going to be building housing. So when you guys are ready, you let us know what property we can and can't use, because we're not asking anymore come 2020. We're going to start building housing while you guys sleep, take care of your families with the tax-paying dollars so you can look well while you look down on us. Shame on you. Shame on you, Skid Row. Marqueese Dawson is not even here. Go figure. You guys are.
Thank you. Is there a Tonya Edwards? Please come forward. Dr. Humphreys?
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Jill M. Humphreys, Councilman Harris Dawson and Los Angeles City Council members. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Afiba Center. Just recently, I served as an ambassador, distinguished scholar for Ethiopia, one of 20 U.S. scholars selected to participate in a binational higher education capacity building initiative for Ethiopia. I am also a distance learning professor with the African Studies program at the University of Toledo and a 15-year National Lawyers Guild member. Most importantly, I was born and raised in Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw District, and I'm a resident of the area. The Afiba Center is an anchor institution in the Black community. More specifically, it represents the collective voice of the Black nationalist grassroots community, an often denigrated and neglected constituency. I would hope, as an elected public official representing your constituents, come first of a moneyed interest in developers for the express of citizens' well-being as a global phenomenon, as I also witnessed in Ethiopia the displacement of local communities and massive loss of land and identity. This moral breach must be repaired to reestablish trust in government and its public officials. Please understand your actions do not only reflect on you, but also on your mentor, Congresswoman Karen Bass, respected city council members, and our U.S. foreign policy as our government. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You received my copy.
Thank you. Jabari?
Yes.
Hold on, sir. Is there a Hankerson Enoch? Please come forward. How about a Renee Hopwood? Please come forward. Okay, sir, thanks for joining us. You have 1 minute.
Good afternoon. My name is Jabari Jamani. Once again, I am joining you here and standing in solidarity with the men and women you've seen over the past few weeks and calling for the rescinding of the eviction notice delivered to us by our illustrious Councilman Marqueese Dawson to affect the programming at the Afiba Center. Since he, in fact, is not here, I'll appeal to the goodwill of all other council people here. We will join with any of us and any of you of goodwill and work toward keeping our center open and keeping this very viable in the city of Los Angeles. We will, as we have extended many times here at this podium, an attempt to reach an agreement to keep this from getting larger than it needs to. And at this point, we can all see it has gotten larger than it needs to. Thank you for your time, your effort, and any of you feel free to reach out to us. We are stakeholders in this city, and we can all work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hankerson, is there a Kath Rogers? Please come forward. Kath, thank you.
Can I go?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. We the people would not allow Marqueese Dawson, Herb Wilson, and other sellouts, Uncle Tom's, Uncle Ruckus, to attack and close our only community and culture center, the Afiba Center. Almost all black community organizations oppose the Destination Crenshaw gentrification project. We're allergic to that. After refusal of Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus, Mark Riley Thomas, white councilperson Ruth Gallagher contracted with Brother Jabari to open our community culture center, the Afiba Center. Bernard Parks nor Marqueese Dawson has given not one penny of assistance to the Afiba Center. Clearly a disgrace, a disgrace. Now Marqueese Dawson is attacking the culture and well-being of the black community by attacking the Afiba Center with evictions in order to whitewash the community's identity with the ridiculous Disneylandish Destination Crenshaw gentrification projects that we're allergic to.
Thank you. Your name, please?
Renee Hopwood.
Ms. Hopwood, thank you. Kath Rogers, followed by Phyllis Scott. Phyllis Scott in the audience?
I'm coming here to speak about the Afiba
Yes,
Center.
ma'am. You have 1 minute. Thank you so much. You may begin. No, go ahead.
Yes, moving this out the way so I can get closer to the mic.
Can you start your clock again, please? Thank you.
My name is Renee Hopwood. I'm an honorary discharged African-American female Vietnam veteran. I've lived in this community over 30 years. I was born here, raised here in this community. And the Afiba Center has been the black voice of our community and our residents for several years now. And by attacking it and trying to dismiss it, dismantle it, or run it is an affront to this community. And also on the part of Leimert Park. That park is our beating heart of Leimert community and its residents. We were not questioned or asked about putting a fence up, and the excuse that it was to control the homelessness is ridiculous. That's the only park they put a fence around to control homelessness. Why is there not a fence around all the other parks? These things like this is what's causing us as residents in black community to have no confidence in you or any other public in infinity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Kath Rogers. Is there a Carolyn Connor? Carolyn Connor, please come forward, followed by a Kim Jurgen. Is Kim here? Thank you, ma'am. Please come forward. Ms. Rogers, go ahead. 1 minute. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kath Rogers. I'm here on behalf of the National Lawyers Guild Los Angeles. We're the oldest human rights bar association in the country, and today we're here in strong support of the Afiba Center, the African Firefighters in Benevolent Association. And for over 20 years, or for nearly 20 years, Afiba has provided vital services to the community, including CPR, disaster training, economic workshops, important cultural programming, a 7 days of Kwanzaa celebration, internationally acclaimed guests. They have a long-standing license agreement with the city that calls for them to perform public services, classes, and programming, which they've done for decades. They received a notice of revocation on August 9th, and that's the first time that Afiba learned of the city's notice to terminate, with no discussion, no explanation as to why. We urge the city to meet with Afiba and all of the stakeholders to preserve this important cultural institution. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Is there a Jacqueline Richardson? Thank you so much. Please come forward. And then a Herbert Allen Jones after Ms. Carolyn Connor?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Good
you.
afternoon.
I'm also obviously representing the Afiba Center, and it's a place of community. And I've listened to all the talk today, and I heard a lot of big words bandied around, but I don't really have a lot of confidence that any of these issues will be handled, particularly the homelessness, and it's all tied in together to gentrification. But the Afiba Center has been there for 20 years. It's very clean. It's a place for the whole community to come together. And as has previously said, I urge everyone here to ask your colleague who is absent and who doesn't seem to want to meet with us to please handle this matter so that we don't have to continue to make this an issue. We should be able to keep that center in the community. Other communities have cultural centers, and we should as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Jurgen?
Yes, Kim Jurgen.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak here. Again, Marqueese Dawson is not here. I was here the last time when he was in Washington, D.C., giving a speech about how to preserve Black and underserved communities. Well, his idea of preserving Black and underserved communities is the displacement of, I'm in support of the Afiba Center, is to the displacement of a 25-year community and cultural social center in the community with an eviction notice to push his, whatever you want to call it, Destination Crenshaw, which is pushing out businesses, is not preserving the community, and it's not an insurance that would help anything in the community. This 1.3 mile open air. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Richardson, please come forward. Is there Deborah Adewale? Deborah Adewale, please come forward.
This is in regard to the homeless. I contend that 1/2 of the homeless in this city are Russian or from Russia. If you want to know the truth about the Russian presence in this city, ask the white people. Don't ask the Black or the Hispanics, ask the white people. I contend that Russia is one of the richest nations in the world today. They have more money than the United States all the way around. The Russian people, they come here because they want jobs. The jobs here pay more than the jobs in Russia. And they're also here because they love the weather. The weather is much better as far as I know.
Thank you. Is there a Tabiti Umoja? Please come forward. Fred Jones, please come forward. Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon.
All right. I'm here to speak in support of the Afiba Center, and I'd like to pose these questions to the City Council. Why, during this time of extreme gentrification, is an African American culture center being closed at such a strategic location within our community? Why is the City Council supporting the revocation of a lease of a progressive Black man that's focused on bringing cultural awareness to our community? Why has the City Council turned its attention to this strategic location of Crenshaw and Slauson? Is it to support the current gentrification effort that is presently underway, displacing African American citizens and interests? And lastly, what role is the City Council playing with the gentrification developers that have targeted the now infamous intersection of Crenshaw and Slauson with this redevelopment?
Thank you, sir. Deborah? Is there a Micah Roberts? Please come forward. Go ahead, Deborah.
I'm here in support of I'm Deborah Adewale, and I'm here in support of the Afiba Center. I have been a participant at the Afiba Center for the past 20 plus years. The Afiba Center is very viable to our community. It's one of the few institutions that we have community access. There have been a number of programs there that impact us and that I have been enriched by, including health programs. I myself, as a medical practitioner, it's an opportunity to expose community to health issues and concerns and educate. And the Afiba Center has been very supportive in any and all activities that support our community at large. I say to Marqueese Dawson that it is not acceptable to go after the Afiba Center. It is not acceptable to take our community center, and we will continue to fight this matter. And we look forward to a resolution of this.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Your name, sir?
My name is Tabidi Umoja, and I am a teacher in the 8th District, and also I've been running programs at the Afiba Center for the last 9 years. My main issue is trying to keep the Afiba Center open, and I think all of this could have been avoided if Marqueese would have came down and saw what was going on at the Afiba Center. You have Afiba Centers running for 20 years, but you don't come by and see what's going on. And there was group meetings, focus groups talking about what they should use the Afiba Center for. You're going to get this type of pushback when you have planning and you don't involve those people that have been creating programs. We're not important, okay? Also, there's a smear campaign going on that started the last time we were here, and we need to address that. And I'm hoping that maybe Dawson will meet with our people so that we can actually work this out. And maybe if he can't come, maybe he should put a mannequin there so we won't look like this. Well, I don't know what the situation is. Okay, so we're going to be here, and hopefully we can work this out. But the next time we vote, if you're going to ignore us, we're going to ignore that box that has your name next to it.
Mr. Jones, Fred Jones. Is there an Abram Farley Jr.? Okay. Mr. Jones, go ahead. 1 minute, sir.
Hello. My name's Fred Jones. I have been teaching African music and dance locally, nationally, internationally for about 30 years. I'm here in support of the Afiba Center, where I teach now, African drumming. And we are in the process of building a school that will serve vital needs for this community. What we do is provide for a system of music, dance, folklore, language that's needed in our community. Our community is filled with despair, gangbanging. What we can do is offer programs for after-school students so they have an alternative to going out there and starting those gangs and proliferating the destruction that's so clear in our community. What we need to do is keep the Afiba Center open. I'm hearing about an eviction for the Afiba Center. We don't need an eviction. We need your cooperation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Micah Roberts, followed by Asata Amola.
Yes, I'm Michael Roberts. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Keeping Open Afiba Center. I've been at the Afiba Center for over 20 years. In the midst of gang violence in the Los Angeles area, I've been able to look towards the Afiba Center and the Cultural Center, and also the example of Jabari to be an asset to my community. I've learned CPR. I've learned different techniques on how to build and how to be, like I said, an example in the community. I've taken a path towards gardening and working towards developing in the community. And this center that we have right here is pertinent for the young black youth, especially since there's another culture coming in. What we want is to have a center and an example as to how we can conduct ourselves, or else things can get crazy. Have a good day.
You too. Is there a...
My name is Abram Farley, Junior Africa Town Coalition.
Go ahead.
So-called Dawson Harris days off. He sees the empty seat. he don't want to speak to us. If you have a representative here, well, I'm coming on behalf of the Afiba Center. We don't want it shut down. Over 25 years, it's been a great service to the community and the leadership of Jabari. We need to keep it open. And like the other guy said, there's a smear campaign going on. Harris Dawson, he gives equal time to talk to the leader. And I'm gonna tell you all to get the developers out of our head, the donors, the shit that's controlling y'all. And you know, this gentrification is kicking our community, tearing our businesses up. So I'm gonna tell you, keep our African Center open and fuck gentrification. Sell out.
Okay, is there a Asata Umula? How about an Abram Farley? Abram, that was you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Farley.
Okay, the name is Asata Umoja.
Okay, hold on, ma'am. Thank you so much. Imasawi Omoja?
Why do you wait there?
And please come forward. How about a Queenie or Shirley Iken? Please come forward. Ms. Amola, thanks for your patience.
The name
Go
is
ahead, 1
Umoja.
minute. Emoja.
Asata Umoja.
Thank
okay?
you.
First thing I want to say is that I'm here on behalf of the Afiba Center, not only on behalf of the Afiba Center, but the current leadership of the Afiba Center. It is because of the current leadership of the Afiba Center that we have the type of programming that we do that empowers our community. Marqueese Harris Dawson has what he calls Destination Crenshaw. I call it Devastation Crenshaw, because he wants to use that particular project and put whatever he wants in the center when he has not properly engaged the community. The community would have a whole, perhaps different perspective about that had he shown some respect to the community by having the community involved in this process. We must keep the Afiba Center open. It is an institution in our community that helps to empower our people under its current leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your name, please?
My name is Kimatsue Umoji. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. I'm here on behalf of the Afiba Center. I've gone to the Afiba Center and taken my children since they were little children, which they're all grown now. And it has to stay. I have grandchildren that are coming along now. And I want them to be able to benefit from the Afiba Center. If it's gone, I don't know where I'll take them. So please, help us to keep it there, right where it is today. Thank you.
Thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Queenie.
Queenie, thanks for joining us. Go ahead, 1 minute.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am here advocating for the Afiba Center to remain in our community with our dear brother Jabari Jumani continuing to oversee it. It is needed, and it is indeed an integral part of our neighborhood, a safe space where our community residents can have safe, positive events, which in turn spreads love and positivity throughout our community. From my understanding, the construction of the Metro Rail and Crenshaw gentrification are directly related to the desired removal of the Afiba Center and other longtime Black businesses in my beloved community. Marqueese Harris Dawson is conveniently missing from this conversation when he's made promises to Brother Jabari regarding the Afiba Center while spreading misinformation with the same tongue in his mouth. The Metro Rail being constructed above ground in the Crenshaw district, from my understanding, when it was originally supposed to be below ground, is definitely a part of the deconstruction of our neighborhood, homes, and businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. Shirley?
Yes.
And then we have one last speaker, Tiffany Jackson. Please come forward. Tiffany
My name
Jackson.
is Shirley Ilkin, and I'm here on behalf of the Afiba Center. I was introduced to the Afiba Center 3 years ago. I used to think my community was just my neighbor on each side of me. After I started attending the Afiba Center, I found that I had a very large community, a community that was like-minded, a community that taught me more than I learned in college. We need to keep the Afiba Center there for the younger generation who's coming along after us. It's very important to our community, and it should not be destroyed because a Councilman Dawson wants to use that space for something that we don't need. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a Tiffany Jackson here? Tiffany Jackson? Please come forward. Sir, did you fill out a card? No, you're anxiously awaiting to speak.
I didn't fill out a card. I have a...
Okay, we'll give you a minute. Is there a Tiffany Jackson here? Okay, who's... Okay, go ahead, sir. I don't see a Tiffany Jackson, but go ahead, sir.
Michael Hill.
Michael Hill, H-I-L-L?
Michael Hill, H-A-L-E.
Mr. Hale, okay, Michael Hale, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, floor is yours.
I'm a Marine vet, 40 years with the aerospace. I'm glad I came today to hear what I heard with the report they made. You know, it seemed like Los Angeles is in trouble. I came here for the Afiba Center, but I think you've heard enough about that. Maybe a little suggestion. I'm not the sharpest pencil in the world, but I mean, let's open the mental institution back up again that Reagan closed for these homeless people. Let's start training homeless people for these jobs that people say they don't have enough trained people for them. You know, let's put the trades back in schools. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hale. Okay, that concludes the general public comment portion of today's agenda. With that, what's before us?
Council has motions for posting and referral.